Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
Let me just introduce these clips to you, okay? Because this is just so off the hook. This is, even by Trump standards, this is him cracking. I mean, he is cracking up. And he's always been a bizarre human being to begin with. He's always acted, like an oligarch, an autocrat, a mafia boss, whatever you want to call it, right? He's always been very, very insulting and a name caller, a bully, and just, a liar. That goes without saying. But the reason why this happened all morning today and just concluded like 5 minutes ago, he had 2 press conferences today after Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff had a joint press conference this morning. Nancy Pelosi wanting to talk about all the legislation she's trying to get done for the American people, and then handed off to Adam Schiff, who was trying to get some sort of transparency on whether or not the president was, shaking down Russia's enemy, Ukraine, by holding hostage weapons they need to defend themselves against Putin's, Putin wants to conquer Ukraine again and make it part of Russia. And so they need us. Ukraine is an ally of ours and they need us very badly. And Trump was like, but I need a favor, though. You want javelins? I need a favor, though. I need you to look into Joe Biden's son. So Adam Schiff was laying out what's next, that Pompeo is obstructing justice and refusing to provide witnesses. We were supposed to have the ambassador to Ukraine, who was fired by request by Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani, who's hanging out with some dirty Ukrainians, I got to tell you. And so they asked to have this ambassador fired. And now we know why. Because she wanted Shokin fired, because she said that he was not a lawyer. Isn't that interesting? Their chief prosecutor, who prosecuted nothing, who looked into no corruption, turns out that Mr. Lutsenko, was not even a lawyer. And he had created a list of do not prosecute, people not to prosecute. And she knew about it. And that's why they had to get rid of her. The whole thing is off the hook, okay? So not to get dragged into the actual impeachment story right now, they presented, their press conference today. They took questions. Nancy was very, very concerned that the media was not very interested in this new prescription drug bill that allows Medicare to negotiate down the price, that they weren't interested in HR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, right? None of them. They weren't interested. And so she was a little upset. Well, then the president decides he's going to have a press conference with the president of Finland sitting next to him and embarrass us on the world stage yet again, which he does. And then that wasn't good enough for him. So now he has another press conference in the East Room. The first one was in the Oval Office. This one's now in the East Room. And he invites all the press again to repeat these lies that he was telling all freaking morning long about the do-nothing Democrats, and Nancy doesn't get anything done. And it's bizarre. And saying the whistleblower doesn't deserve protection because the whistleblower is a liar. And this whole thing is a hoax, even though it's demonstrably true, because we have a memo that purports to be the transcript of the phone call, and we can quote what Donald Trump said to Zelensky. I'm just about ready to buy javelin missiles. Yeah, I need a favor, though. Somehow, the transcript exonerates him. The transcript doesn't have him saying there's a quid pro quo. The transcript doesn't say, well, if you want to defend yourself against Russia, you're going to have to do something for me, because, I got to defeat my opponent. It's so sick. All right. So now finally, this is the end of the second press conference he had. This is going on in a matter of hours. This is how you know he's cracking up. A reporter from Reuters, okay? It's a wire service. It's one of it's a worldwide news service, Reuters. Like dependable like clockwork, okay? So Jeff Mason is a reporter for Reuters. And he stands up and asks this to the president like minutes ago.
Mr. President, I'd like to ask you about your use of the word treason. You've used it repeatedly in the last few days. Do you consider anyone who opposes you treasonous?
No, I consider when they lie, when they stand before our great body in our great chamber, and they make up a story that's fiction, like Schiff did.
Oh, my God.
He took that perfect conversation I had with the Ukrainian president, and he made it into a total lie. It was a total fabrication. And you do admit that. It was a total fabrication. He said this is what, and the only ones that don't like my conversation are the ones that never read it, but they heard Shifty Schiff.
Right here.
That's what I call a lie, and because of the fact that he's lying about the President of the United States and as to what the President says. You know, I believe it or not, I watch my words very carefully. There are those that think I'm a very stable genius, okay?
Oh.
I watch my words very, very closely. Oh. And to have somebody get up and to totally fabricate a conversation that I had with another leader and make it sound so bad, it was so evil. And now I see this that just came out minutes ago, where he met at a time that was impossible to have done unless there's corruption involved. And just so you know, we've been investigating on a personal basis through Rudy and others, lawyers,
Rudy.
corruption in the 2016 election. We've been investigating corruption because I probably will, I was going to definitely, but I probably will be bringing a lot of litigation against a lot of people having to do with the corrupt investigation, having to do with the 2016 election.
That you won. The 2016 election that you won. Okay, so then Jeffrey Mason of Reuters says,
Look, Biden and his son are stone cold crooked, and you know it. His son walks out with millions of dollars. The kid knows nothing. You know it, and so do we. Go ahead, ask a question.
But the question, sir, was what did you want President Zelensky to do about Vice President Biden and his son Hunter?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, it was just a follow-up of what I just asked you, sir.
Listen, you ready?
talking to me?
We have the president of Finland. Ask him a question.
I have one for him. I just wanted to follow up on the one that I asked you, which was,
Did you hear
what
me?
did you want
Did you
him
hear
to
me?
Oh,
Yes,
Ask
sir.
him a question.
I will, but
I've given you a long answer. Ask this gentleman a question. Don't be rude.
No, sir, I don't want to be rude. I just wanted you to have a chance to answer the question that I asked
I've
you.
answered everything. It's a whole hoax. And you know who's playing into the hoax? People like you and the
my
fake
God.
news media that we have in this country. And I say in many cases, the corrupt media, because you're corrupt. Much of the media in this country is not just fake, it's corrupt. And you have some very fine people, too. Great journalists, great reporters. But to a large extent, it's corrupt and it's fake. Ask the president of Finland a question, please.
Okay.
Are you talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me? Because I'm the only one here. Oh my God, this man is unhinged. You know why? He knows this is all going to come crashing down. You finally have a few Republicans speaking up a little. Chuck Grassley yesterday, a GOP House member, saying, leave the whistleblower alone. This is getting really deranged. The GOP is collapsing. I mean, almost no one in Texas that is a member of the GOP is running again. Everybody has just said, I'm not running for re-election. And the economy is tanking. RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.